Today we're going to be drawing a one-point perspective cityscape. To do this, we're going to start with a horizon line. We're going to put our rulers a little bit higher than the middle and draw a straight line with a dot in the middle. That dot is called the vanishing point. Any diagonal lines we're going to add to our drawing are going to go to that point, including the road, which is the first part we're going to add. I'm going to put my ruler on the edge of the dot and basically make a big, tall triangle that goes from that dot to the very bottom edge of my paper. That's going to be for the road, the main road that's going through the city. To make it look more like a road, I'm going to add some dotted lines in the middle. To do that, I'm going to make a smaller triangle in the middle of my big triangle, much smaller. And then I'm going to draw some lines going across, try to make them equally distant from each other. And then I'm going to erase out every other one. It's going to look like a dotted line that's getting further and further away from me, just like a real road would have. There we go. All right, after that, I'm going to start on my first building. For my first building, I'm going to start very simple and just do a rectangular building. This building is going to go above the horizon line, so my rectangle has to go above that line that I drew first. And I'm going to use my ruler to make sure it's nice and precise. It helps if you use your ruler in this because you can fix things very easily and make them look a little bit nicer. So then I'm going to draw two dots. Those are going to be my points where I connect to the vanishing point. I'm not going to draw the line all the way. Instead, I'm going to make them about an inch or an inch and a half long. Looks like a table on its side, kind of. And then I'm going to connect them using a straight line. Make sure your line is straight or else your building will look like it's tilting. Once again, that's a good place to use your ruler. I'm going to make a building going behind this one just by adding another line kind of sticking out from the middle of the building. That's going to be for the bottom. And then I'm going to finish my rectangle. Now, since this overlaps, I'm not going to see the whole thing. I'm only going to see part of it. But same thing, I'm going to put 2 points on the 2 corners, line it up with the vanishing point, draw 2 shorter lines, like so. And then I'm just going to connect them with a straight line. Once again, be sure that it's nice and straight. You can always erase if you made your lines too long. All right, now I'm going to do something trickier. I'm going to do a building that goes below the horizon line. It's going to look more like a cube shape. I'm going to also do it on the other side to show you that buildings that are on the right side, they're going to still point to that vanishing point, but they're going to be pointing in a different way. So let me just draw a square here for my smaller building. I'm making it nice and big and thick. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other buildings, only this time there's 3 dots. There's 2 on the 2 top corners and there's 1 on the bottom. Once again, I'm going to draw some lines. I'm going to try and line up my first line that I did with my bottom so that it's about the same length. Same thing here. I'm going to try to line it up as best I can. Okay, so now I have, it looks like a table on its side again. Then to make this look really precise, I'm going to just make it parallel with the front part of the building. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to make it parallel with the front. It's okay if your lines that you drew that are diagonal are a little bit too big. You can always erase them and fix them. Okay, now that I have 3 buildings, you can obviously add way more. I'm going to show you how to add a couple details to this. First thing I'm going to show you is a door. For the door, the top of the door is going to line up with that vanishing point. Then we're going to drop 2 lines down for the sides. And this is going to be a double door, so I'm going to put 1 in the middle and add some little handles just like that. Notice how the handle that's furthest away from us is a little bit higher. That's important. Now for the windows. This part is time consuming and tedious, but it looks really nice when it's all done. I'm just going to draw some really light, almost like stripes that go all the way down the side of the building that's facing the road. The side of the building that's facing the road, the windows are going to be tilted, so these lines are going to help us make the top and the bottom so that they look correct. After I have my stripes on there, I'm going to add some vertical lines that go down like this. And I'm just going to scoop my ruler over to draw those lines. And you got to keep in mind, some of these are going to be windows, some of these are spaces between the windows. So don't put the lines everywhere. And then I can go back in and erase around them so that they look more like a window. They could all be connected too. A lot of apartment buildings have windows that look connected. And then I'm going to erase out the little spaces in between them so that they look like windows. If I erase a side of a window, it's not a big deal because the pencil still shows and I can re-add it in there. Windows that are on the side of the building that are facing us, they're just gonna look like a regular rectangle. You don't have to do anything special. Just make sure they line up with your other rows of windows that you made. I'm also gonna add a sidewalk. It's really just an extra line on the edge of the road with some lines going straight across for those little cracks in the sidewalk. And then the last thing I'm gonna add like a little walkway to this building. So just 2 straight lines coming off of the bottom, 2 straight lines coming off of the 2 top corners. I'm gonna draw an awning, which is a curved line and a flat line at the bottom, and then a flat line and a curved line. This part, a lot of kids wanna make this, but they don't pay attention to this part, and then they ask me how to do it. That's how you do it.